You are now listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Relax your anus. Balls. Thick thighs. Camille Shat. Where's his neck? Eddie Jones. You're fucked, mate. We're nice now.
And we are recording. Welcome, everyone, to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Where friends are friends. We're coming to you at a Monday night because Frank had some sort of conundrum on the weekend. Probably gaming. I don't know.
I thought you can talk about someone else.
No. I'm not going into that direction. Don't worry.
Good.
What were you doing that we had to reschedule?
Oh, just loads of errands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You went to the shopping mall and then just got overwhelmed.
Yeah. That's kind of, my chakras got misaligned. I had to make space for myself mentally, you know what I mean?
But
Learn
anyways,
the value of saying no.
before publicly shaming you, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm good. I had a good weekend.
Good.
I coached some rugby, some high school rugby.
Do you do that indoors, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Well, we can't do it outside.
No.
We run around in the snow.
Some people have those AstroTurf things, though.
Not in Canada.
No, you have them in this city. I tried to book them for our club.
Yeah. In the city, like facilities would have a few. I think there's like a handful.
There's not enough for a city of this size. Yeah.
Now you got me onto something.
Yeah.
There's not enough for a city that spends the majority of its like time in snow.
It's near enough 6 months, isn't it, here?
It could be longer.
Yeah.
There'd be sometimes we've had snow 8 months of the year.
Yeah.
And you'd have like, I guarantee you there's probably under 10 indoor fields in the whole city.
I know this because I was trying to book indoor training for us for the winter, right?
Yeah.
So you're right. I contacted the city, all fully booked every single day until April.
Mm-hmm.
Contacted the indoor soccer center. They have 4 large multi-field centers. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So every one of them has like 6 or 7 artificial turf. All of them booked every single day.
Yeah.
And then there's 3 or 4 independent ones, including the YMCA, all booked. And you think, wow, people must really like that. It's like, yeah, people can't go outside. And we could book wood floor gyms. This is a city of about 1 million people, though. And you're right, for a city that has to spend 6 months basically inside,
Yeah.
it's like nobody thought of that.
It's insane. You know what? That's a great investment opportunity.
I was thinking that.
Like if you want to make some money,
Yeah.
open up an indoor field because
Yeah.
that thing is going to be
Yeah. Immediately
Pa-
booked up forever.
immediately booked up
Yeah.
forever.
You just need huge startup costs.
Yeah, it's crazy that you think there would be as many indoor fields as there is outdoor fields.
Not even close.
It's like, no, fuck it. We'll just stay inside.
It'd be sad. Yeah.
To be fair, Canadian sports, like the majority of Canadian sports are winter sports.
That's the real reason, because there's way more indoor hockey rinks
Mm-hmm.
than there is indoor. And even basketball is probably more popular among just general playing around.
Yep.
And you only need a wooden floor gym, of which there's enough of those,
Mm-hmm.
So there's just not enough AstroTurf to do rugby and maybe soccer. But you can do soccer on wood floor if you want.
But you think it would make sense,
Yeah.
and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invest now.
But anyways, yeah, we were practicing. We're just doing once a week sessions.
Yeah.
So last year I had 30 kids and only one of them played rugby before.
Yeah.
So now I have 30 kids again. 15 of them have played.
Full team have played rugby before.
Yeah, I got a full team.
That's a good start.
And they were like getting into the drills. They knew what was happening. They were helping each other. I was getting on some of their cases
Oh, that's nice.
to like, you guys should know better on this.
Yeah.
So it went really smooth. It was a lot easier.
How do you do pre-season stuff? Because I try to focus on fitness and then get carried away with complicated backs moves.
So since I have a limited amount of time, this is how I go about it. This is like my personal belief on it. Since I have a limited amount of time with them, I try to do. We don't do any fitness. We go straight into rugby skills and just rugby related stuff because that's what I have. I don't want to waste any time on running laps, doing something. If we're getting any kind of like fitness in,
it comes from the drill.
It comes from the drill.
Yeah, totally.
So, like, I had them like doing some wrestling type stuff.
Yeah.
Like trying to getting their working on their ability to get out of a ruck after they've been in it.
Yeah.
So they're not just lying there.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That gets tiring.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, anything that I do that it has to be rugby related, because I only get that for like right now I'm only getting that for an hour and a half once a week. And then when we get into the season, there's only 2 training sessions. So 3 hours and then a game. So I need to use that all that time to
very effectively
get in as much rugby as possible.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and I tell them too, I was like, you guys need to be working on, like, you get 3 hours of rugby. The rest of the time, you fit in cardio, fit in some fitness here and there.
You have the opposite problem to me coaching adults, because they know rugby really well. They're just unfit. Children are very fit, just don't know rugby.
Yeah.
So you literally have the opposite problem in terms of what you go over.
Even when they're like not even athletic, they're still like fit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like young kids, like
they just run forever.
Like teenagers, they could just run forever. I'll run this like 4 kilometers. I've never done it before, but I'll just do it right away without taking a break.
Yeah, and they can do that.
Yeah.
That's good. Rugby there's little sprouts of rugby in this winter fucking hellscape. Good.
Yeah. And so what do you want to talk about first? We got a lot of rugby to talk about.
I'm going to tell you a little story.
Oh, you're going to tell me story time.
Do you know who Shane Lewis Hughes is?
Story time with Frank.
Welcome to the corner. Get yourself a hot cocoa. Sit down by the fire. Tell you about Shane Lewis Hughes. Do you know who Shane Lewis Hughes is?
Is he like a blues singer?
No, he's a fucking rugby player.
He sounds like a Shane Lewis Blues. He sounds like a fucking...
On the bass, Shane Lewis Hughes. So yeah, he had a couple of Welsh caps, and he's actually one of my good friends. Taught him in high school, and said he was a complete fucking nightmare, but very good rugby player. Alan Wynne Jones said when he was training with this guy, "This is the first guy I've seen who's matched my physicality ever," and he was excited for him to be like a Wales star.
How old is he?
He's young. He's played 22. He was on the radar for a little bit. He played for a couple of games, and he kind of fell off the radar. He went from Cardiff to Dragons. But here's one of the reasons he's been off for a while, right? So he broke his finger, just like me, kindred spirits. I broke my finger playing rugby. He had a little surgery, and he couldn't really do anything in training still after the surgery. So he got his finger amputated.
Okay, I heard about this story. I heard about this.
I'm sure this has happened before, but a professional rugby player, I don't think I've ever heard of a professional rugby player amputating their finger so they can continue to play rugby.
Okay, so just let me get this straight. It wasn't healing in time. Like, why did
it healed? But I think because the nature of the way it healed meant it was always going to be painful and always going to be more of a pain to be successful at rugby than just not having it there.
So he got it cut off.
Yeah.
He got it removed.
Yeah.
To keep playing rugby.
Right. Yeah. And the poor bugger plays for the Dragons.
He did this all for the Dragons.
Yeah. All for the love of rugby and then the Dragons, I presume, because he played for Cardiff, came to their academy.
He needs a Welsh cap just because
he's got a Welsh cap.
Oh, he has one?
Yeah, he's got a couple of Welsh caps. Yeah, and then he kind of, like I said, he fell off the radar. Don't know if you remember Tane Basham. It was sort of that era where Pivac was getting some new back rowers in, and they were good, and they're still good. But he obviously has had a long spell of injury with a finger, and he's like, "Fuck it, chop it off. I want to play rugby." Like, fair play though. That's what, like, I had so much respect for that. You know, it's kind of mental, but
like I've done that with a tooth.
Yeah,
I had problems with this tooth, and like, you're gonna need a crown and all this. And I was like, and
just
it was like one
it.
way in the back, and I was like, fuck it, just pull it out.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm not gonna get a crown and like $10,000 for this dumb tooth. I was like, just take it out.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like, that's not going to affect your ability to do other things in life. If I chop a finger off to play rugby, I'm not playing guitar anymore. Right? I'm not playing piano ever again. Not to that standard.
No.
He's chose that rugby is his thing. And he's chose to chop off a piece of himself to play rugby. I think that's pretty cool. Thanks for joining me in Story Corner.
It's a crazy story.
It's kind of fucking crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Are you sure you want to like get rid of this finger?
Yeah. Maybe there's more to it. Like the doctor was like, no, we have to take it off.
It has to be like some sort of like there has to be like that. It can't be just like he chose.
We could read a news article about it right now, which would tell us, but we're not going to.
A bunch of news articles about it, but I just didn't.
You read the headline.
I just read the headline. I didn't care to like.
Yeah.
I just brushed past it. I was like, oh, he lost.
I've read that news article, and it literally told me which of those situations was the case, and I've forgotten. But I'm choosing to go with the narrative that he sacrificed a piece of himself to continue playing rugby, which I think is kind of cool.
Another story.
Yeah.
In the news, the curse. A Canadian curse has been lifted.
I can feel the air is lighter here, isn't it? Literally, I can breathe again. Kingsley Jones.
Kingsley Jones is gone.
Yeah, not the king anymore.
Not the king. He's not kingly here at all anymore.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I was happy he was gone.
Yeah.
I was like, he should have been gone. This is like fucking 3 years, 5 years too late.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, I have no hope. I have no hope for this situation.
Yeah.
I have no hope that Rugby Canada will make the correct decision on this.
There's no evidence for them to do that, is there? Because I read two different. Because a part of me instinctively wants to protect a fellow Welshman, right? And part of me wants to say, remember that story came out a few months ago, and it was like he's doing a bad job, but he's literally the only guy there, right?
He was until like 4 or 5 years ago, though.
Yeah.
So when he first started, he was the only one.
But he was there for a long time. Was it 10 years?
No, 7 years.
It's a long time still, right? It's several years where he's the only guy. And I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I'm just trying to put in context that the Canadian Rugby Union, it's like the WIU situation, isn't it? It's like, do you blame the coach or do you kind of lift up the veil a little bit and go, oh, it's a fucking dumpster fire in there? Which it is in both nations' case, right? So I've no doubt he should have done the honourable thing and resigned long ago. But on the other hand, he didn't have a lot to work with, right?
No, he didn't. That is true. He didn't have a lot to work with. But like when you look at now I'm forgetting Kieran Crowley.
Yeah.
Very similar situation. Very different outcome.
I don't think it's similar. I think the Italian Rugby Union has a lot more resources.
No. I'm talking about when Kieran Crowley was the Canadian coach.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Italy. Yeah.
No. So when Kieran Crowley was here, it was very similar situation. Very similar amount of money, resources.
Yeah.
And what he was able to do with the program, was like, Canada weren't the best team.
We made it to the World Cup a couple times.
We made it to the World Cup.
Yeah.
We challenged teams.
Yeah, you did.
Like I remember in 2015, Canada playing France.
Yeah.
And for the first half, it was neck and neck.
Yeah. People took Canada seriously. Now they really don't, do they?
No.
You take Chile or Portugal more seriously than Canada these days, wouldn't you?
100%.
Yeah.
I didn't have a faith that they would win any of their games going into any of their matches in the summer. In this autumn.
Victory against Romania was a surprise to me. Mm-hmm. And Romania aren't exactly. They were a similar trajectory where they used to be good and have just been like going down since, right? So yeah, you're right with Kieran Crowley. I wonder if though, just over that period of 10, 15 years, just because there's been no real investment or progress, whoever's in charge, that thing just keeps going down. You can't just rely on people like Tyler Ardron or someone like Jeff Hassler to just show up and make the team good,
Even Kingsley Jones even had the MLR.
Yeah, he did.
Still behind
Had
him.
a whole professional team to draw from.
Yeah, he had that.
Yeah.
He had a whole league of full-time professional players to pick from.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is his fault as much as Rugby Canada's finance stuff, but they're going to these test matches with guys from like beer league rugby.
Yeah, we know some of them.
Yeah, they're taking guys like from universities. They're taking guys to like play these professional teams.
Yeah,
these pro players, and they're taking them from beer league.
Yeah,
and like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And the frustrating thing is you're actually seeing some payoff for the USA. The USA was great in the autumn.
Finally.
Yeah.
I was about to give up hope on them. But you're right, they're starting to turn it around.
And Canada's just getting worse.
They are getting worse.
So back to this whole like what's going to happen afterwards, I have no faith that Rugby Canada is going to make the right decision here.
I agree.
I have a feeling they're just going to pick someone that's probably already in the system.
Yep.
As a coach, like, oh, it's going to be you, Howard. You've been here for a while, so you're the head coach now.
Yeah.
What they really should do is really get someone that can probably spark interest, a little bit of life into the. They don't need anyone like spectacular.
They don't, do they? They need someone who's passionate. Like in Wales, we need an A-lister to save us because we do have enough reputation and history and resources to expect that. Canada doesn't. No. And I don't mean they don't have that. I mean that they don't need that, right? All they've got to do is be Romania, USA, maybe a Tonga. You know what I mean? And yeah, they might lose those games, but just show that you can stay in the fight, maybe win one of those games, and that will be progress. The bar is fucking low for a team that used to be in the mix with Tier 1 teams, right? Tier 1 teams. Have you ever heard of the broken window theory? Do you know what that is?
No.
It's criminology theory, right? If you have like a town and a window gets smashed on the high street, like someone breaks in, that means that everyone in that town suddenly thinks this place is a shithole and more crime starts happening. Basically, if you punch a hole in a boat, more holes will appear and it just gets worse and worse. That's what Canada rugby feels like. The men feels like to me. It's like, this is irreparable right now because every dent in it just makes the whole thing worse. Do you know what I mean? It's like the opposite of gaining confidence from victories, isn't it?
We just need we need a good thing. We need a good thing.
Yeah.
That's all I need. We need I know we're not going to turn the best team. We might not even get that much.
You don't
better.
need to though, do you?
You just need a good thing. We need someone to come in and be like, yeah, this is a person that, I can believe will try to do a good job.
Yeah. All you've got to have is a coach saying the right things in the first interview and everyone's going, okay, have faith. This is a fresh start. Kings, I don't want to blame him for everything, but one thing I definitely blame him for is you should have fallen on your sword long ago. You could see it was not good under you and you chose to stay there, right? You can resign at any fucking point from a job you're not doing well at, right? And yeah, you'd leave with your reputation worse off, but that's entirely your fault. The longer you stay, the worse it's getting for you. And I think nobody has any faith in that guy as a coach anymore because he fucking made the room stink when he left, didn't he? So yeah, all you've got to do is have a guy who's smiling and going, yeah, I'll give it a go.
Graham Roundtree.
You wish you could afford Graham Roundtree.
That would be fucking awesome.
It would be cool, actually. Yeah,
that'd be Graham Roundtree out there.
Yeah.
I wonder who else. I wonder who do you think would be your
Ian
dream?
Foster, the dark horse of New
Just
Zealand.
take him out of Japan there. He's with his buddy Steve Hansen. They're coaching.
He's not fucking coming. I'm trying to think of a coach who's who's kind of C-list, but would be really good for Canada. You know what I mean?
Like a C-list coach.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll tell you who I really liked. He was the Cardiff Danny Wilson at Glasgow. Actually, he's kind of A-list now. He's kind of a big deal.
Who is the guy that left the Dragons?
Di Flanagan.
Yeah, just to bring him in there.
You don't want to. Kingsley Jones, when he coached in Wales, was reasonably successful. Di Flanagan hasn't won a game. And I felt bad for Di Flanagan because he was never supposed to be the coach. Someone just left and he was like, I guess I'll do it. And then he actually improved the Dragons.
Who's the coach of Exeter Chiefs?
Rob Baxter.
Yeah, let's get him.
I think he would be up for it if he wasn't so Exeter till I die. Because he played for Exeter. He's not going anywhere, Or
who's the coach of the Falcons? Steve Diamond?
Steve Diamond. He's been around the block, though. He doesn't strike me as that kind of guy.
Oh, he would be good.
He would be good. Tell you another guy, Bernard Jackman, former. He also coached the Dragons, and he pops up on a lot of Irish punditry. And he's kind of hard-nosed, he'll come in, yell at people for not being fit enough. But for the right crowd, that works. They didn't like it at the Dragons. They were like, fuck, this guy's mean. But maybe Canada needs they don't need a friendly guy. They need someone to come in and be like, what the fuck is this? Used to be good. Get in the fucking bleep test,
Canada will be like, we just hired the most high-quality coach ever.
Yeah.
And then here he is. All right, mate, you're fucked, mate. Eddie Jones. I'm like, oh, no, that's not what we wanted.
With some wrestling music.
And
his name is Eddie Jones.
His little grimacing face.
Yeah.
All right, let's play some rugby. It's
man.
like, no. That's the only A-lister rugby coach I wouldn't want.
He already does what Canada shouldn't be doing, which is picking university and BA League guys.
He's like, I'm used to this, man.
Yeah, you're already doing the right thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just go to some neighborhood rugby games. We'll just start picking some guys.
Yeah, he probably would. Yeah.
Fuck. That would be the worst possible situation.
Yeah. There isn't any. I don't know how this is pitched, though. I don't know what the price is or who the right guy is. I have no fucking clue.
I tried looking it up. I tried looking up today. I tried looking up how much the CEO is paid. I looked at their financial report.
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of terms I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was trying to Google it. I was like, oh, fuck this. I couldn't find any money anywhere on how much certain people were paid.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything like that. There was just nothing.
Yeah.
So it's up to, I don't know how much they're paying. To get Kingsley Jones over here, probably had to cost some money.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He was, I have no idea, but I imagine.
I guarantee there's a 6-figure deal with him.
I think there's guys in Alberta who have no high school diploma who work in oil fields who made less than him, but I still think he makes good money. I think he makes like over 100,000 Canadian dollars a year, but not massively more than that. Maybe 150.
Yeah, I would probably say he's somewhere around 200,000.
Okay.
I wonder how much they pay the CEO. Because
Yeah.
they stole him
Presumably
from,
more, right?
He came from like Scottish rugby.
Right.
Like he was in charge of Glasgow for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's got to be up there pretty. I was trying to find out how much he
Yeah.
makes.
And he came in recently, so maybe Kingsley Jones leaving has a lot to do with this guy. He's come in,
he
he's
came
like,
in
we need
2022.
we need a fresh start. Well, that's 2 years actually.
It's like Bombury. I forget his name.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know you're talking about though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think this is a good thing though for now, isn't
It's
it?
a good thing he's gone.
Yeah.
But I think it's as far as it goes.
Yeah, that's as far as the goodness goes, isn't it? Because they've still got rugby to play, and now they don't have a coach for now.
All right, so
Yeah.
we should talk about some European rugby.
Europe is back.
The
And South Africa.
Champions Cup.
Yeah.
How do you feel about having it back?
Like I said last week, I'm a bit out of love with rugby at the minute.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Just don't be Welsh for a little bit.
No, I can't do that. It's all right for you. You can just wake up in the morning and be like, who am I supporting today? And then
I
it's
can do
easy.
that.
Like I can't
Yeah.
do that. So
Every game, I kind of pick a side.
yeah,
here.
exactly. So I can't
Yeah.
do that. I've got to stick to my guns. I thought Cardiff played pretty well considering the comparative resources. So it was a good game actually, and Cardiff scored enough points.
Can we talk about real rugby?
You want to go? You want to start at the
no.
at the
no one wants
creme
to
de
talk
la
about the fucking
Conne?
Challenge Cup.
You fucking asked.
Who the fuck wants to talk about the Challenge
Well,
Cup?
I do because these are the teams I support, Stephen.
Scarlets beat the Newcastle.
I wish they beat Newcastle.
Didn't they play Newcastle? Who played
Oh
Ospreys?
no, they played Bayonne.
Who played the Ospreys beat
Ospreys beat the Lions.
No.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my God! What, I don't
They beat them 30-14.
Newcastle played this weekend.
They did.
They played the
Who are you
Scarlets.
talking about now?
They played the Scarlets.
No Welsh people played. Oh wait, did the Dragons play Newcastle? Let's
Whatever
start
they
the
did, they
Champions
lost.
Cup. Who Newcastle lost?
Who did Newcastle lose to?
That's the question we
In the
ask
Challenge
ourselves
Cup.
every week. You know what? Let's start in the Champions Cup, just like you said we should.
You started right off in the Challenge Cup.
You told me to. And then we're going to work our way down to the shit heels at the bottom, all right?
Bath, La Rochelle.
Yeah.
Poor Bath.
Clash of the Titans.
The most boring team. The most boring rugby
yeah.
team.
Even if they'd won, I wouldn't care.
The flashiest rugby players.
Yeah.
So there was like a hurricane or some fucking shit going on.
Yeah,
in the
there was
UK.
a storm in the UK. So actually, incidentally, Ospreys played their home game in Parker Scarlets instead of in Swansea.
Because there was damage to their stadium or something.
Yeah,
like
the roof was damaged, yeah. There was a significant storm. Like, it wasn't just they've got a cheap building or anything.
Yeah, because I think I was watching some of the Munster game and like the fucking like the lenses were all rained out and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And like, oh
yeah, no,
shit.
it was a serious thing. So
And then I think it was Glasgow, the Glasgow game. Like the audio equipment kept squealing during the game. If you watch the highlights, you can actually hear it.
oh wow.
It just starts as it's like a bzz, bzz,
Yeah.
bzz, 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 bzz.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? Like,
No, there's a lot of flooding in the UK right now. But anyway, yeah, so Bath 20, La Rochelle 24.
good for La Rochelle going away from home. I always kind of find it special when a French team leaves home and wins. You're like, oh, they really care.
Yeah, because
Like,
they
when you-
only usually give a fuck about the home games,
Yeah.
don't they? Yeah.
Unless you get lucky, and we'll talk about that later. That coming
Okay.
up. But yeah, watching a French team like leave home to win, bringing in a good squad,
Yeah.
is nice to see.
Respecting the opposition.
Respecting the opposition,
Yeah.
respecting the tournament.
Yeah.
So that was just really, really nice to see.
Except Ronan O'Gara having a tantrum because why does he have a tantrum every time he plays? Even when he wins, he has a tantrum.
He's a fucking psycho.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, do you ever hear him talk in interviews and stuff?
Yeah.
He's fucking crazy.
He fucking jouets, yeah.
Like, he is just a super intense
Yeah.
guy. Like, he must be kind of annoying to be around
Yeah.
because he even made a comment in an interview not too long ago, talk about how people view him as difficult.
Yeah.
So I can just see, like, he's just, like, super intense. He's always on. He must be awful at birthday parties. like, that's what he comes off. He's just always super serious.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing else to him but work.
Yeah.
Like,
I like Ronan O'Gara a lot. I would follow that man into war. And back in the day when there was the whole Johnny Sexton, Ronan O'Gara rivalry, I was Team O'Gara all the time, every time.
Well, I bet you everyone was.
No, not the Dubliners. No, they like Sexton. The Leinster boys liked Sexton, right?
I bet you they're still.
A part of them knew they were wrong.
But you hear about shit from him often.
Oh yeah, weekly.
He's and it's just like when I get the picture of him, like he's a psycho.
Yeah,
like he's just a fucking crazy lunatic, and he's just like always off the like. I don't think he has like a crazy temper. Just like he's just always
intense, isn't he?
Just a really intense guy.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to go on vacation with this guy.
No, I don't think he wants to go on vacation with you though.
He probably doesn't even go on vacation.
I think he does, and because his wife makes him, and he's at the pool with his laptop out, and she's like, "You fucking looking at rugby statistics?" And he's like, "Go away."
Do you like this vacation?
Yeah. Who do you think paid for this? Who do you think paid for this pool? Who do you think paid for our little children running around talking in French? Private lessons, by the way.
Just like
remember the movie Step Brothers when they're singing the rich dickhead brother's got his family in the car and they're all singing that song and he's like, I paid for fucking private singing lessons for all of you and you, my wife, are shit. And like it's like Ronan O'Gara's driving his family down the road like,
all right, hit the C note.
Yeah. You better hit it. Cost 10 grand. Yeah, I like Ronan O'Gara though, and not that I don't like Bath, but I'd never really want them to win anything.
I have nothing against Bath. Bath
Right.
is just kind of like the most boring rugby club.
Yeah, I think so. And I have no real reason for that. I just don't vibe with them.
It's just their whole brand.
It's very like it's going for the traditional, which I like. You know, this is Bath Rugby Club, and a lot of English clubs do that, right? This is Bristol used to do that until they decided they want to put a fucking bear on their logo for some fucking reason. Like I like the tradition RFC, but with Bath, and they have supporters as well. That's a big rugby club. I've been to a Bath game. They pack it out with hardcore fans, you know? But just something about it just feels like generic.
Bath and Sale Sharks, I kind of put together as they're kind of, it's like just the same boringness. There's just something about Bath and Sale. It's just, and I'm completely like, there's not, I don't have anything to go on here.
Me too.
There's nothing. There's no facts. There's
no
nothing.
animosity.
No.
Just don't care.
I just like, that is.
I ever tell you a story. Me and my dad went to watch Sale Sharks and Wasps. I've told you this story before, but I'll just tell it quickly again, right? Great, really good game. Like, it was probably like, I don't know, 90% full stadium. Cipriani got knocked out by Faf de Klerk in like a head-on-head. It was really dramatic, good game, right? And and the stadium's good and it's new and it's kind of just outside. It was probably like quite far outside of Manchester, actually. As we're leaving, the parking lot is just dirt. There's no lines. It's just a massive field surrounding the stadium. And when we left, there was no attendance. So as we're trying to leave, it's like
can't even fucking leave.
20,000 people trying to drive their car through a single gate, right?
Oh my God.
And you know when you play a video game and like you go to an area and it's trying to load and like the trees haven't loaded and stuff? It felt like that. It felt like all of their attention had just been put onto the rugby stadium and everything outside that was irrelevant. Do you know what I mean? Like they haven't finished developing their rugby yet. You know?
I just would have waited.
Oh, we did. Yeah,
I would have even gotten my car.
But you couldn't move your car because people were like driving at different angles around you. Like we couldn't move the vehicle for about 20 minutes. Just sat there staring at people, like trying to cram through this one gate hole.
Yeah, that's where you just like hang out outside. I wouldn't even be in the car. I'd be like, unless it was raining or something.
No, I think my dad was having a smoke on the bonnet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
Just light up a smoke and
just wait for the chaos to
just wait for the
wait
chaos.
for the graphics to load of rural Manchester. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. La Rochelle Bath.
Yeah,
you know,
I
good
don't. Look, La Rochelle have been kind of hot and cold in the top 14.
They have it, yeah.
So and then Bath have been hot.
They have
in the Prem.
I think that's why La Rochelle took this game seriously. They did respect their opponents, right? Because Bath are the high flyers.
I just think this loss is bad for Bath, just for the whole image thing. Like you got Bath as one of the top teams in the Prem,
right?
And for a mid team to come in, like I'm calling La Rochelle a mid team. They're packed full of stars.
Yeah,
but having them come in there and just like win this game, like Bath should have won this game.
I know what you're saying.
They should have won this game for the Prem.
Yeah,
that's exactly because that's what the Champions Cup. That's what it really is. Like it's not who's the best club.
No, it's who's the best league.
Who's the best league?
We all know
it's all about who's the best league.
100%. Yeah, we all know
right?
it.
So for Bath to lose that game, like
yeah. But this isn't a new thing. English clubs in the last few years have struggled since Saracens kind of lost, and since Exeter and Saracens kind of fell off, and the French just will go out and buy every single star player.
Salary cap too.
Salary cap affects it, but I think even if you removed the salary cap in England, they couldn't afford these guys without going bankrupt.
But they would.
But that's the problem,
They
isn't
wouldn't
it?
have the
That's
money.
why they all started going bankrupt, because they were like,
wouldn't
shit,
have the money for it,
we've got to
but they-
keep up with France. And they were
Yeah.
paying exorbitant fees for these guys, and they couldn't afford it.
You would lose more Prem teams, but
You did lose fucking Prem teams.
I know, but you would lose more, but
Yeah.
you'd still have rock stars in the Prem
You would, yeah.
because they would take out loans for these fucking
They
players.
fucking would, yeah.
They'd be spending money
Yeah.
they don't have.
And let's not forget, even in the Prem, there's a lot of Scottish and Welsh guys who play for their national sides. Do you know what I mean? They're still doing the overseas purchase thing.
Yeah.
They're just not keeping up with the French. So when you go like, yeah, you're absolutely right. It is who's better, Gallagher, Prem, or top 14. The gulf in finances is really starting to show the last few years. So a team like Bath, as good as they are, probably get beaten by a mid-league French team 5 times out of 10, I reckon.
Ooh, it's a big call.
Yeah, well, you told me to make big calls, so
Let's
here I
keep
am.
the negativity going. Here's
All
something
right.
negative.
I'm being positive about France.
Claremont, Bennington, 28-0.
Nil in the Italians.
You should never get nilled in the Champions
No,
Cup.
that's embarrassing, isn't it?
When you're in the Champions Cup and a team is getting nilled,
Yeah. Go home.
that's
Yeah.
bad for the brand.
Watch them make the playoffs now because the format's still shit.
Well, they are. Yeah. Because I don't even know how it works. Don't even ask
Yeah.
me how it's like everyone makes it in.
I think Benetton will get a point for their nice jersey or something.
I think there's like
some
a
bullshit.
round of 16.
I hate it.
Yeah, I don't know how it works,
Yeah.
but
28-0, that's like comprehensive. They scored exactly the amount of tries they needed for a bonus point and did exactly the amount of defending to not give Benetton a single try. That is the scoreline of a game called off because of weather. That's a scoreline because Benetton couldn't field a team, not a game that actually happened, you know?
yeah.
That's embarrassing. And I say that because I'm pissed off because I've been saying that Benetton are getting good, getting better, because they keep beating Welsh teams, so they better be fucking good. And now they get nailed by Claremont, who are pretty high in the top 14. So, you know, fuck you, Benetton.
Exeter went over down to the Sharks. Got
Have yet to win a game.
they have not won a game.
No.
That's surprising when you said that.
Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't believe me, could you? Like,
No.
surely they beat Newcastle. They did
no,
not beat
they
Newcastle.
did not beat Newcastle.
Yeah.
The Sharks, like, man, when you look at the lineup, and they had all their guys in.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a Springbok team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is. I'm putting them up there like the top 4 teams for this competition.
Yeah.
Definitely putting the Sharks up there.
But, okay, I agree. On paper, they absolutely should. But beating the Exeter Chiefs comfortably, at home, I expected them to beat them by more. That sounds disrespectful to Exeter, but Exeter haven't won a game. Sharks have literally a Springboks team.
But like you said,
Hammer
a lot of
them.
they haven't won a game, but they haven't been really spanked.
No, they've been competitive in a lot of those fixtures. Yeah.
So Exeter is not a bad team. They just they can't finish things.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. I take it back. You're right. Yeah.
Right? They're like that guy that like dropped out of university
Yeah.
and he's been working in the restaurant for like a long time as a dish guy.
But he's got a
or
novel
he's
in
a
him.
cook, right? He's got a lot going on. It's like he could go back and be successful, but
Yeah.
he just like wants to get high and play video games.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's like you need to finish something.
He's half finished a novel. He's in a band that's on the circuit. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they're not a bad team. It's just
No.
like the Sharks. So I think that scoreline 39-21. It's actually not a bad score.
Now you said that, yeah, you're right. That's pretty good. Can't see any English teams going far. Oh, actually, never mind.
You can
never
never
mind.
kill.
I'm gonna take that right back
you
in a
can
minute.
never kill the. You can never kill the Saracens.
No, I'll
remember
take that right back.
Northampton played Castres.
We're just skipping over Toulon Stormers, are we?
You got a different list.
Oh shit.
Your list is in a different
Okay,
order than mine.
you lead the list. Northampton, Castres. I'm a bit disappointed by Northampton overall. I wanted them to be top of the league, but they have had injuries. Alex Mitchell's been injured.
Now I
for a
know
little while.
Castres brought over.
They made some.
Am I saying that
signings.
name? Is that how you say Castres?
Castres.
Castres.
You say you want.
Castres. Cast.
Don't say castrate.
Castrate.
That's a different
The
meaning.
castrators.
The castrators got castrated by Northampton.
I know that from what I read, they brought over a B team
They did.
and then they got spanked.
Already disrespecting the league.
And this is the team that's like gone like I think 6-6. If they won all their home games, have lost all their away games. So this is like the French of the
this
French.
is very
teams.
on brand.
Yeah, which kind of pisses me off.
Yeah. It does. Disrespecting the league. Who's
Yeah,
going to
because now you can't really put any money. Like, you can't put any weight into this game.
No, I agree.
Are Northampton good? Or they just played a shit bunch of kids?
And it's not good for the team that win, because then they haven't had the right exposure to good teams, right? This competition is supposed to be the creme de la fucking creme of club rugby, right? And whenever a team sends a B team, they literally undermine this whole competition.
Except for the Bulls when he went to their defense. If they have 33 players in their squad, they're allowed to use whatever.
I take that back. Fuck the Bulls. Yeah. And fuck Leinster and fuck the Bulls.
I'll never fucking forget that shit.
Yeah, I went to town, didn't I? I was like, no, this is the guys they've chosen. I've changed my tune a bit, because after a lot of the talk about like the World Cup League, World Cup of Nations, and how they just want like to regiment everything so that they can bring in a lot of investment, it made me realize we already have a good thing. People just need to take it seriously. Mm-hmm. And the format is what has fucked this competition, really. The way that it is structured means that you can afford to lose games. Look at Munster. Like, they made the playoffs after
winning one game.
Right. And it devalued it. So change the format, and then I've got more time for it.
And it's just part of the selling the game, too. Like, you got to sell the game.
Yeah.
And you're doing this kind of bullshit?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't sell the game.
It doesn't.
Especially yeah, you're right. The Champions Cup is supposed to be the best of the best.
It is, yeah.
Not kind of the best versus not the best. Like, it's just, you want the best of the best. It should be, they really need to crack down on this kind of thing.
I want people outside of Europe and South Africa to be excited by this as well, because if you look at soccer, when the Champions Cup happens in soccer, it's a big fucking deal, right? Like, it's so prestigious. You win Europe. Right?
They have the army at some games, just to control the crowds.
Seriously, and like, because in Europe, every country has a big football league. We want to be there. We're nearly there, but then we let ourselves down by sending B teams, right? And yeah, rugby's attritional and everything. So change the format, right? Give the good teams easier routes into or just make it more elite. Reduce the number of teams who compete in this competition. You know.
Now, another team that didn't take it seriously. Brought a B team, but actually won is Toulon.
Yeah.
So Toulon brought a bunch of kids down there.
They did.
We're going to throw this game away.
Yeah.
But they got lucky because the Stormers had a shit ton of injuries.
They did.
They lost some players.
Yeah.
And Toulon walked away in South Africa with a win. I bet you they were not anticipating that at all. They're like, oh, yeah. We were planning
that
this.
Was the plan all along.
Yeah, that was the plan all along.
I don't know if I read this about this game, but I think 2 Stormers guys need surgery after that game. I think there was significant injuries. Yeah, anyway, that's shit.
Yeah. So they got lucky.
Yeah. In South Africa.
In South Africa, because they literally went down there to throw that game away.
Yeah.
They just they threw it. They brought in a clearly second, a B team.
Yeah.
To lose that game, and then they won. It's like, yeah. Well, we did this. We planned this the whole time.
Fuck, who have we got next week? Fuck. Yeah.
Munster, Stade Francais.
It's a bit surprised by this. A bit of hammering.
Yeah.
Good old tuning, eh?
There's something about Munster in stepping up in the Champions Cup.
Except last year.
It was a little rough on them.
I think they have it in their DNA. But they, because they've won. They used to be big dogs in Europe. Mm-hmm. I don't think they've ever forgotten that DNA. And fair play to them for not having a coach firing hangover as well. Stade Francais are a good team. This wasn't like their absolute best team, but it was pretty close.
Also, Stade Francais' discipline was shit.
Yeah.
8 minutes to second half, red card.
They played how I imagine the top 14
4 minutes later,
goes.
They got another red card.
Yeah.
So they played with 13 men for the rest of the game.
I think this game as well, someone stiff-armed Omani, and I was so happy this happened, they didn't bunker review it. He was just like, that was fucked. Go home. Here's your red card.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You stupid twat. Go home, you violent prick. I'm so glad we haven't forgotten about that, because I've been such a big advocate of the bunker system, and I still am, but I do want the ref to have the power every now and again to go, what the fuck was that? Get off the field.
He was a Terminator. Peter Manning was awesome in this game.
That happened on the wing. He was storming down the wing.
Yeah. Yeah. He was awesome. He was like a brand new Peter O'Mahony.
Yeah, he was.
He was better in this game than he was in the autumn.
He's better in a Munster jersey than he has been for Ireland. Not all year, but for the second half of the year, definitely. Yeah.
Even that Craig Casey and Jack Crowley, that duel, like that's turning into a really deadly duel too.
It has
like,
to be.
That's really growing into something like super special because they're really clicking. They look dangerous out there.
And they need to be, because all of a sudden Leinster have kind of, jumped the line and got Prendergast as maybe Ireland's starting 10. Jameson Gibson Park, I think, is better than Craig Casey. But if Craig Casey can have a good partnership with Crowley, all of a sudden it's an easy choice to be the Ireland 9 and 10, right? So, yeah.
I could see Craig Casey, he's going to take because who was it?
Jameson Gibson Park.
Yeah, he's getting up there. He's like 32,
He
33.
He is old, yeah.
So I could clearly see Craig Casey becoming the future 9 of Ireland.
Absolutely. He's definitely the replacement, and he's only 25, so yeah.
He almost got fucking suplexed in this game too.
He's only a small man.
Like the lock picked him up.
Yeah.
And he he was gonna suplex him.
Yeah.
And then I looked and he's like, oh, then he fell over and rolled him off.
Remember there was a fucking camera on him?
Yeah.
Craig Casey is 5'5". I didn't realize. Fuck, he's small.
Yeah, he's a small guy.
I'd be hard not to suplex him a lot of the time. You tackle him and he's just on your shoulder.
I wonder how much he lifts.
Probably a lot.
I bet you if you met him in person,
he's
a
fucking ripped.
stacked guy.
Yeah. I remember seeing a picture of Cheslin Colby topless, while I was looking for porn, and fucking hell, that guy's in shape. You know what I mean? You wouldn't know he's as small as he is.
There are some players that they're ripped that surprised me. What was it, Greg Laidlaw?
Yeah.
I saw him in a photo with his shirt off, and he was fucking
Yeah, I mean,
ripped.
these short kings, man, they're playing a big man's game.
God damn.
Yeah.
Laidlaw, because he looks like a math teacher.
He does.
And
you don't expect it from him, do you?
No.
Because his jersey doesn't even fit him a lot of the time.
No, he's fucking sitting beside his pool.
Yeah.
He's got these abs, pecs, and arms. I was like, holy shit, he's ripped. He's fit.
Who's this midget who's juicing by the pool? Oh, it's only Greg Laidlaw.
I seen I've been in proximity of Faf de Klerk.
You've been in proximity of Faf de Klerk.
I didn't meet him.
Right.
He was 10 feet.
You saw him.
He was 10 feet from me.
Yeah.
In Japan.
Yeah.
At the World Cup there.
Yeah.
And he looks like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
If he was playing here in Canada, he'd be a prop.
Yep. 100%. I remember that same game I was telling you about, the Sale Wasps game where we had a parking lot fucking disaster. Faf de Klerk was playing in that game, and I saw him warming up. He was doing some warm-up kicks just because maybe he's the backup kicker. His fucking ass. It's massive. All he does is squat. Do you know what I mean? It's huge.
He's got huge arms too, and short. He looks like an intimidating guy.
Yeah.
If he was just walking around the street, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to fucking mess with him.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Munster
good
kicking
for them.
Stade Francais' ass.
Good for them.
I don't know if Stade Francais brought their A game.
It wasn't their best team, but I don't think it was a B team.
A team that brought their best team, or close to, the Bulls.
You just can't stop the Saracens, can you?
And then went over to the Saracens, and the Saracens fucking beat them. And the Bulls had their Willie LaRue.
Oh, really?
They had their Willie.
And they had their Willie out, and they still lost.
And they got fucking. And I like the picture of. I think it's from the Saracens. It shows the score, and it's one. And I think it's who's that Welsh prop? Reece Kerr.
Yeah.
He's on the front, and he's all
angry and ginger,
yeah. And he's just killing it. He's killing it at the Saracens.
Yeah, he's good, man.
Yeah, and you're like, where were you in the Autumn Nations?
They didn't. Do you not know the story with that guy?
No.
So he played for Saracens before.
Is this the
He's
prop?
gone back.
Is this the prop that I always hear that Gatton thinks is out of shape?
That's exactly what happened. But not only does Gatlin... This is one of the things I won't forgive Gatlin for, right? He's supposed to be the man management guy. This is a young prop, and when he played for Cardiff, he regularly took us over the gain line hard. He's a big fucker who can smash gain line, right? So you think if you condition him right, you say the right things to him, you can get him in shape. He's a young guy, right? Gatlin not only dropped him from the squad, he publicly stated in a fucking written statement he's not fit enough to play for Wales. He's done that with, as far as I can remember, nobody else. He publicly shamed this guy for being out of shape.
He's got something against him.
Right. It must be, right? If either this guy's an asshole or Gatland really doesn't fucking like the guy. I love Reece Carey. I think he's I'm really... he was really let down by Gatland, I think. And therefore Wales, because...
Unless there is, he is a piece of shit.
And that happens.
Because what you just told me sounds like a personal... like something's personal went on there. Like he does not like this dude.
There's two other Welsh players I could talk about if you want who are in that situation, right? There's an old winger from the Scarlets, Steph Evans. I love Steph Evans, he's class, but he must have been a dickhead for him to not get more Wales caps. And there was another guy, Dan Evans, used to be the fullback for Ospreys, used to just win games for Ospreys single-handedly, and he posted on Twitter once a picture of like an equation on a blackboard that he couldn't figure out, as if to say, what more have I got to do to get picked?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the point where Gatland was like, that's the reason I'm not picking you. If you have too much of an ego, you're too arrogant. I think that was the case with those guys. So maybe it's the case with Rhys Carey that he's just too arrogant or something.
Oh, who was that other winger you just mentioned?
Steph Evans.
I swear I watched something on some Welsh winger, and he was like a rock star.
He was
rock star
unreal
personality, though.
I think that might be true.
Did he have like highlights, like blonde highlights?
No, I think you're thinking of Gavin Henson.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, don't worry about it.
But I seeing him play and just
Carey,
destroy, just rock around the field like that. And you're just like, oh,
against the Bulls, probably one of the most physical teams in this competition, you know?
Yeah. And for them to bring their, like, basically their A team.
Because they got criticized, not by me, but by many others for bringing the B teams, right?
Yeah. And then they got spanked.
Yeah.
I wonder if the traveling is just...
I do think it's a factor.
When the South African teams are starting to... When they said they were going to be in the Champions Cup, I was all for it.
Yeah.
Where are we, 3 years in now?
Mm.
I'm kind of seeing the negative side effects. Like, it's costing these teams a lot of money.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
You got to bring a whole squad multiple times, so far away. So I'm starting to see the negativity around it.
Yeah.
Like,
you want your best team playing, you want the creme de la creme playing each other in the right, not just playing each other, but in the right circumstances, right? Like they both had to have had a week rest or training, like the same amount of time off, the best players they can field in the most optimal situation. Otherwise, it doesn't feel like a fair competition. Mm-hmm. And I think that was one of my problems with the South Africans joining the URC is because going to South Africa is fucking difficult. Mm-hmm. You're asking us to play where there's not the same amount of fucking oxygen we used to, right? And I get that's their home advantage. That's their whole deal. Fine. But you're adding something to the game, which means it's not a level playing field, right?
And it's summer there right now, so it's hot as fuck.
Yeah. So imagine coming here, there's a fucking gale force wind storm.
Actually, I wonder if that even played a part in the Bulls losing.
Could do.
They were just cold as shit.
Cold and wet, and they were like, what the fuck is this?
This is awful.
Yeah.
I just want to go home.
Yeah. In a storm in London. Yeah. I don't know. But I watched enough of this game. Saracens were clinical, though. Mm-hmm. They just took them apart, you know? Like, they were really... And that reminds me, like, Saracens, you never write them off. Like, when they want to play well, they can just fucking do it.
They're immortal. You can't kill them.
Can't kill them. They're a vampire. They're the rugby vampire of the Northern Hemisphere.
A game that I was happy to see, Glasgow, 38-19 Sale.
Yeah.
Glasgow looked good.
They did look good. I just my instinct is to write them off every time, and they just keep proving me wrong.
I want to say, hey, they got a chance this year. I want to say that.
Fucking say it.
I want to say, hey, they could probably go far.
Don't fucking say it. Why could they not?
But then you look at Toulouse and Leinster and the Sharks.
Yeah.
Like that. Those are the three top teams.
Yeah, I think I would be very excited if we had like Glasgow Toulouse in a final. I think Toulouse would win that final, but I just think Glasgow would give it some heart and soul, you know?
Oh, that would be great.
Imagine 30,000 pissed Glaswegians in Cardiff smashing bottles, screaming. Oh, it'd be such a good time.
Racing 92 beat the Harlequins. Harlequins are... What's going on with Harlequins?
I'm sad about that. I like the Harlequins.
I think they're the second loss. They lost last weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe Marler retiring really hit them hard, eh? They just can't handle it.
Yeah, you think... I just don't know what's going. Like, yeah, this last year, like they've just been hot and cold, and mostly cold.
Yeah,
nothing really to say about this.
No, I guess I want Marcus Smith to be the guy I know he can be. You know, I can find my way. I can go the distance. You know, like I want Marcus Smith to be the guy because he stepped up for England. He looks like the complete package now, and this is his vehicle. Harlequins is his vehicle. You know? I don't know.
He's got a lot of problems. Brakes are going.
Yeah.
Muffler's loose. It's like there's a lot of shit going on there.
Yeah.
Bordeaux beat Leicester. I guess Leicester were up at half, like 21-0.
You're in the Challenge Cup now, aren't you?
No. I'm not in the Challenge Cup.
Oh, did they play on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Sunday games.
Oh, that wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah, at halftime, it was 21-14 for Leicester. And then they just fucking...
Oh, they shit the bed.
In the second half, the floodgates just came through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Bordeaux just stepped it up.
Leicester are such like a physical team that I think they forget you can use your wingers sometimes and even defend against the opposition that have wingers. I don't know.
I think it just comes down to some of these teams, like Bordeaux's got a lot more money than Leicester.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that these squads, just their depth is just a lot heavier.
And the signing, their bench is going to be because they literally sign impact players, right? Yeah, so I think that's got a lot to do with it. Bordeaux are second in the league in the top 14, only behind Toulouse on points, right? They both won 8 and lost 3. So they're coming in with a lot of confidence. They're coming in, they're not scared to play anywhere, right? I
think Bordeaux is where Pinot plays.
Yeah.
He didn't play on the weekend, he's injured. But they got like a lot, they got Jolly Bears, is that I say his name? Jolly Bear?
Jolly Bear.
The old Jolly Bear.
Old Jolly Bear.
Jolly Bear?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about that. I just think I wanted more from Checa, but Bordeaux are a good fucking team, aren't they? So, good for them.
Another good fucking team, Toulouse.
Okay, actually, I tell a lie. Like, I did watch enough of Toulouse-Ulster. I actually tuned in for this one and soon tuned out because I was like, oh, it's a good old-fashioned dicking.
There's a good old wholesome dicking going on down here.
All the boys come out for the...
Don't you hate that you're watching a game that you've been, like, pumped to watch?
Yeah.
And then it just turns into a dicking?
Yeah, it's like, what a waste of time.
For fuck's sakes.
Get out of bed, boys.
Yeah. There goes my... Like, I was anticipating this game, and there's going to be no game.
It was like... There was a moment in it where Dupont did the crossfield kick to Ange Capozzo. And like these guys are like the young, sexy rock stars of European rugby, right? And Ulster just looked and it was beautiful as well. It was a hell of a kick. And Ulster just looked after that. They were like, fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Like dejected. And I think like if I was an Ulster fan, they are such and frustrated. They remind me of Cardiff a lot because like when they play well, like their attack is unreal. And when they suck, it's like, what the fuck happened? You were good like a game ago. Last week you were really good. Like, and I get it's Toulouse, but 40 points, like 40 points. That's a hammer.
They were going for almost a point a minute for a while.
Yeah. They didn't let up either. Toulouse did not stop playing.
I think they had a try held back.
Yeah.
Kind of like killed their mojo.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to get a point. I wanted it to be like 80-21. Like if you're gonna cream a team, really cream them.
Yeah, totally.
Like 100 to something. Like that's what I want.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna go that far, you might as well just go all the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't be merciful, right? Good teams aren't merciful either. They're not. They don't give a shit.
So
yeah.
And then the last game of the Champions Cup of the weekend, Leinster versus Bristol. Leinster put a fucking beat down.
I didn't watch this, but you told me it wasn't as bad as that scoreline looks.
The first half.
Okay.
The first half.
You did say that.
The first half was Bristol's defense is really good. Leinster's defense is incredible.
Yeah.
How am I going to put this? There was just like a lot. There was a lot of the discipline in both teams was pretty shitty in the first half also. So they couldn't get a scrum together. Like they could not put a scrum together, both teams, until the ref actually fucking put Porter and what's his name from Bristol?
Is it Max Leahy?
Yeah, he gave them both yellow cards like right away. He's like, if you guys next one falls, yellow cards.
And he did.
Yeah.
Good for him.
And so Leahy.
Yeah. Do you know what I say about Max Leahy? Doesn't look like a prop. Like he's a good-looking, slim, very fucking massive bloke, but like. He looks like he's shaped like a center. That's all I have to say on that.
He doesn't look like a prop.
Doesn't look like a prop. Not in a bad way. Like there's no body fat on him.
The bench that Leinster have is fucking nuts.
And you're not talking about the elephant in the room. One of the 15 Barrett boys came.
I'm going to get to that.
One of the Barrett brood came up.
Yeah. So at one point in the game, he brings on Andrew Porter, Thomas Clarkson, R.G. Snyman, and Kalen Doris off the bench.
Fucking hell.
Brings these four off the bench. Bristol are just looking at him like, Oh,
It's like if you brought all the World Player of the Year nominees off the bench to play, isn't it?
Yeah, and at halftime they brought in Jordy Barrett. This is like and Barrett,
I say.
Jordy Barrett.
Yeah, you say what you want. Do what you want.
And then I think like 15 minutes later he just scores a try. He literally ran one in.
Fucking hell.
Just saw an opening, grabbed the ball, and then in his first game scores a try.
It's not fair, is it?
And it kind of as Leinster brought on the bench and Bristol like basically couldn't bring in anyone. It was almost a little unfair.
That's why if I have to hear about Leinster's academy one more time and how everything is a meritocracy and all these guys were found in the mines of Dublin. Like, fuck off. The money you've got, the money you have is insane.
The star of that game, the best players on the pitch, easily Sam Prendergast.
Yeah.
And Van der Flair.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, man, Sam Prendergast, after this game, he's I would even say he's probably one of the best. He's one of the best fly halves in Europe right now.
Shut up. He's only played about 5 games.
Guaranteed. He is he is something. Watch him. You missed the game. He's special.
Yeah.
He is fucking.
You said
special.
about every Irish 10
His
though,
one caveat,
except the Burn Boys.
His one caveat is
Keep shouldering people in the head.
Yeah, his defense is a little. He's got some.
Yeah.
He's got some defensive liabilities.
Yeah.
I think Ellis Genge just fucking trucked him hard. Too. He tried to. Oh, who was it? He tried to do this tackle on someone in the game too. It looked like something like a high schooler would try to do that's never tackled. We're oh, come on, Sam. It doesn't look really good.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing
he's quite tall though, isn't it? It's difficult to get low if someone's coming at you quickly.
There's the best 10s in the world. They're the total package. Let's give another small 10.
Marcus Smith. His defense is his weakness, but it's still good.
Yeah, and he goes into anything. He throws his body at everything.
Yeah, so a good 10 is fucking fearless.
Yeah, he's not the most powerful, the strongest, but he's fearless. He's brave. Yeah. So he'll get in there. He'll put his body on the line to stop that player.
Yeah, and Ronan O'Gara, talking about that intensity, that craziness, he was like that as a player. He was fucking ferocious, you know?
Finn Russell.
Yeah, that's a very good example.
Finn Russell, a very physical guy.
Looks like he doesn't give a shit, but rarely misses a tackle, you know, and comes up quickly off his line to hit people, you know.
Yeah, he's got because Finn Russell, he's got the arms of a Warcraft player.
Yeah,
and so you don't
the
expect
face of a Warcraft player and the belly of a Warcraft.
Yeah, and So he was like, oh, what the fuck is he?
Yeah.
But yeah, he can hit.
Oh, yeah.
He's a physical dude. And he takes the ball. He gets hit a lot,
He
too.
does. He can. We were saying that, weren't we? That guy does not care. You can hit him as hard as you want. He'll just get up, laugh, crack another can of Monster.
Yeah, so Sam Prendergast, to really step up, to really be the number one, he's got to put his body on the line.
Yeah, and he's
trying
young,
to do this step out of the way, lazy tackle, shit, trying to protect yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. I'm hearing this not just from you, but from a lot of Irish punditry, losing their fucking minds about Leinster Academy products. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that because they're not good. They are fucking good players, but you keep putting them on pedestals, and then this kind of thing happens, right? Jack Crowley has established himself as Ireland's 10 on merit. He's a class player.
Yeah, he's got the resume.
He's
built up the resume.
And don't get me wrong, I'm sure Prendergast is very, very good. But if you put that kind of pressure on him, they do a lot of their academy products, and don't get me wrong, someone like Dan Sheehan is kind of someone who was hyped up and was as good as they say. But there's been several locks there, and I just don't want him to be the guy who everyone put all this pressure on, and then his defensive liability.
I don't think that will affect him. I don't you gotta really watch him play. Watch him play next week. Because there's guaranteed they'll pick him. But he is something special.
When are Leinster playing?
They'll play next week. I'll look at the games next week here.
I think I'm washing my hair when they're playing.
You'll be like, oh, yeah. I can't do it. But he is something. He's something special. Leinster have they have too many players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Leinster
So when you bring in a Barrett and a bloody Snyman, it's come on, guys.
Just look at fullback. They started Kieran Frawley at fullback.
Yeah.
And he was kind of playing more conservatively.
Yeah.
And then they bring in Jordy Barrett.
Yeah.
After that.
At fullback?
At fullback. That's where they put him.
Oh, wow.
And he used to usually always play at fullback.
Oh, I thought he was a center.
I think he plays for center for the All. He plays for center for the All Blacks.
Yeah.
Mostly, but most of his his early career definitely he was a fullback.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know.
So they brought him in at fullback. You still got Hugo Keenan just sitting around.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have They have a lot of good players in a position where there's too many.
Yeah. They like the French clubs. But they have better cohesion because all of these guys came through their system, and they're smart because the signings they make, they're high quality, but they don't do it too much, do they? They do it enough to cover these kind of games.
Yeah, and for short periods too.
Yeah.
So I think Jordy Barrett's only on a 6 month.
Right. He's there for the USC season and the Europe season, isn't he? Basically.
Yeah, for the rest of it.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's smart actually.
But it kind of helps when almost your whole team is paid for by Irish Union.
And I was also going to say that as well. It's it's smart, but he's not going to go to fucking Ulster, is he?
It just puts them ahead. It frees up their wallet so much. I almost think that you have to change the Irish Rugby Union has to change the rules on how they handle these contracts. Because I'm not saying if all the best players are at Leinster and they're all getting contracts, okay, but there's just something it just puts them, now they have all this free money to spend on guys like Jordy.
Yeah.
To bring in Snyman.
And here's the thing though, it's not like they didn't
How much do you think Snyman would be making in top 14?
Probably the same.
How many top 14 teams have been trying to sign him?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
How much do you think he's making in Leinster? Comparatively.
I don't know
what the top 14 is paying him.
About the same, but I think it's more attractive for him to stay in Ireland because he was at Munster and he knows, probably likes it there.
Yeah, but money talks, right?
No, I'm not saying. Oh, definitely, they're paying him a lot of money.
Guarantee they're paying him.
Why am I defending Leinster? Why are you doing what I'm doing?
Yeah, guarantee they're paying him.
Yeah,
just as much as a top 14 or a Japanese team would.
You would have to, wouldn't you? You'd have to. Yeah.
You'd have to get him the caliber of player because he's just a game changer. He came onto that game, grabbed the ball, made a line break. Just a little cheeky offload to Sam Prendergast right into the try zone.
Yeah.
It puts, I don't know, the central contract thing puts Leinster in a position, since they have all the players, basically their whole team.
But they also produce all those private school academies are in Dublin. You know?
That's true too. So I don't want to be it's not like Leinster's fault that all the players are. Well, it's Leinster's fault all the players are good because they invested in them.
Yeah.
It's just
spread the love a bit.
Yeah, or should you? Should you spread the love?
It's weird.
Should you be spreading these players to other club teams and diluting?
Why would you want to make your rivals stronger? You know.
Yeah, and
from an Irish point of view, that's a great thing. Yeah. But from a Leinster point of view, why would you do that? Yeah. Especially because all those guys are happy to be at Leinster. They're getting paid well, and they're happy to be on a bench because they're playing with the best guys in the fucking world. I would stay there, even if I'm warming a bench.
Harry Byrne, he could be a starter for a team, for a lot of other teams. Yeah. But he's gonna waste away playing a game once every 3 months.
Yeah, his muscles are atrophying right now. Yeah. And he's getting paid a lot of money for it, So
I there's just spread the love a little bit. Move some of these players around. And you're also in Dublin. The population's there.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have the pick of you're gonna have more options for better players.
Speaking of Harry Byrne, right? You've been waiting patiently for your brother to die. And then fucking Kieran Frawley starts getting a bit chirpy, and he's like, "Hey, this guy's good," and Byrne's like, "Oh, fuck's sake!" And then just as Frawley has a shit couple of games for Ireland, he's like, "Here's my chance." And then fucking Prendergast comes out, and he's like, "Fuck's sake!"
Yeah, this generational.
It's
player.
like whack-a-mole with talented children at Leinster, isn't it?
That's definitely what Sam Prendergast is.
Yeah,
he's a generational talent.
Yeah, don't put too much pressure on him.
I'm not putting too much. He's a professional athlete. There's
a lot of people listen to us, He might be listening, thinking, I am as good as they say.
Looking in the mirror those guys. Yeah. Fuck, I better not let them down. Fuck.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And that was the Champion Cup weekend.
It was.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought a bit predictable.
A bit predictable. You saw Saracens beating the Bulls?
It wasn't entirely predictable. But do you know what? I'll never write off Saracens. I'll write off Glasgow till the cows come home, but I'm never writing off Saracens.
Well, let's just go over the games for next weekend.
Saracens could be playing the aliens from Space Jam, and I wouldn't write the Saracens off.
Well, let's just go over the games for next weekend here.
You don't want to talk about the Challenge Cup?
No, I don't want to talk about the Challenge Cup. There's nothing at what
I'm
happened.
sorry, Wales. Steve doesn't want to talk about you.
Sorry. Let's just go over the game where Black Lion played
Black Lion are the future of Georgian rugby. How dare you?
Vanessa. I don't know what the fuck the other teams are. You didn't even know who the Welsh teams played. I'm not talking about the Challenge Cup.
No, you didn't. You were trying to shoehorn Newcastle into fucking the Ospreys game.
They played a Welsh team and lost.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I know.
All right.
And who was it?
Newcastle played Pooh.
Oh, it was Poe.
Yeah.
Powell?
Pow. I don't know if I can say it.
But just for time's sake.
That's fine.
We're not going to get into
I'm
the
only
Challenge Cup,
joking. It's
'cause
fine.
no one gives a
I
fuck.
actually don't care either.
Yeah, no one cares about try hard rugby there.
Yeah.
Sale, Racing 92 goes to Sale.
Racing. I think they do a comeback and fuck Sale.
Yeah, I think they'll beat Sale.
I do. I don't think Sale have got it in them.
Munster are going to castrate the Castrators.
Yeah.
So Castrators are playing at home.
I think Munster win that game.
Ooh.
Munster got some champions DNA, you know.
But Castrators also like care when they're playing at home.
That's right. They don't lose at home. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Castrators beat Munster
All right.
by like 10. They got Bowls, Northampton going down to the Bowls.
Is Willie LaRue playing?
They'll have their Willie LaRue.
They'll have their Willie out.
Yeah, and they'll be nice and warm and hot. I'm gonna say the Bulls win this.
Hot Willie. Yeah.
Yeah, Northampton, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Bordeaux comes to Ulster.
Oh.
Ulster's gonna get fucked in this game.
I want to be wrong because Ulster are like
They're gonna
one of my
get
favorite teams, but
fucked.
yeah, they just no
Another
evidence.
team, Claremont, going to Leinster. Claremont's fucking rest in peace.
You think so?
Oh yeah, they're gonna get fucking toast.
Yeah, I think they'll lose. I just don't think it'll be as a hammering.
I think Toulouse,
Claremont are third in the top 14, eh?
they're still gonna get fucking ranked.
Fair enough.
Leinster are fucking different.
Yeah, they're a
beast.
different level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Sharks, the Hollywood Bet Sharks,
Right. The
Not
South
the
African Sharks.
not the Sale Sharks,
Right.
are going over to Leicester to play.
Wouldn't it be handy if either of those teams had a geographical like Sale is a place near Manchester, right?
Yeah.
But call them Manchester Sharks. Call the fucking Sharks from South Africa the whatever Sharks, you know? Like fucking help us out here, you know?
So the Sharks going over to Leicester. What do you think's gonna win that one?
Oh,
No.
the Springboks versus Leicester. I think
Yeah.
the fucking Springboks are winning.
Are they gonna bring all their Springboks?
Yeah, because I think the
Fuck,
Sharks.
these guys have played a lot of rugby.
I think the Sharks are genuinely got a good chance of winning this. So yeah,
if they bring their Springboks,
they will.
they're gonna destroy Leicester.
Here's the thing though: when some of those South African teams last year brought their B sides, they didn't have the depth they have now. Remember, this time last year, a lot of those South African guys weren't playing in the URC. Now they've come back, right? The guys who Sharks have got on board now is basically a Springbok team. So I think even if they sent a half a team, they've still got a good chance. Their depth is much better than last year. So yeah.
So yes, rest in peace, Leicester. Sharks are gonna win this game.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're gonna do it comfortably too. I think this is gonna be a wrecking. I think I can see a lot of lopsided games.
Yeah, that's kind of my problem with it at the minute. Is this format and the South Africans have made it. They've cheapened it a bit, to be honest. Someone's gonna fucking hate that I said that. But
This one will be a harder one to call. Bristol going over to La Rochelle.
Bristol are doing well in the Gallagher, but I think La Rochelle win that at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I don't think you're going to La Rochelle to win a game.
No.
You have to be.
Those French teams have real fortresses.
They do, and the star power.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say La Rochelle. Also, I'm gonna agree with you.
Okay.
Stormers going to Harlequins. Going to Twickenham Stoop.
Storm has a lot of injuries. Harlequin's not playing very well, but they're at home. I'm still going Stormers.
I'm gonna go Stormers also.
Yeah.
Stormers all day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say. And then on Sunday, Bath goes to Benetton. Watch Benetton win this game.
Really? I want them to.
Yep.
But no.
I'm
Bath.
calling Benetton. Benetton's gonna win this game.
All right, fine.
Oh, I'm gonna rub
You
it
do
in your
weird things.
face. Saracens go to Stade Francais.
Never write off Saracens. The vampires of the fucking...
Yeah, Saracens are gonna win this game.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna go against them.
I think the problem when the Europe rolls around is we both have to admit we know fuck all about French rugby. We're like, yeah, I think so. I don't know what a Bordeaux Beagle is, but I think they're gonna lose. And then they fucking batter people. Like, yeah.
Glasgow, go to Toulon.
I'm writing off Glasgow. It's fun.
I think Glasgow are gonna win this game.
I'm writing them off.
I'm gonna go with them
probably
this
will.
time.
I think I'm doing them a favor. Every time I write them off, they win the USC. So I'm going to write them off, do them a favor, and then they'll win.
And then the last game of the round, Toulouse, Exeter Chiefs.
Ooh, you know who's winning this. This could be an 80-pointer.
This could be an 80-pointer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Exeter.
Poor Exeter.
I like Exeter. Yeah, Toulouse are winning that.
And I think we've talked about everything that we were going to talk about today.
Sorry, Wales. Steve didn't want you today.
All right, friends, like and share the podcast. Send us an email. Follow us on Blue Sky. Look at us up on YouTube.
Ooh.
We put stuff on YouTube all the time.
I think our title was wrong from last week.
It was. I fixed it.
Oh, nice.
You know, you fucking saw that and you didn't say shit.
Yeah, that was funny.
You could have texted me.
Could have.
Yeah.
Didn't.
Yeah, you motherfucker. All right, I'm getting out of here. I'm ending this one. Bye, friends.